Hey there, YouTube viewers. Today's job is going to be a simple one, something anyone can do in their driveway. But on this Honda Insight, replacing the accessory drive belt, the Serpentine belt as it's sometimes known, it's going to be a little different because the way you tension it is going to be different than a lot of cars that have the automatic spring-loaded tensioner. So come along, I'll show you how to access this belt, and I'll show you how to properly tension it. All right, let's go. Okay, in the engine compartment of our Honda Insight, you can see the accessory belt right there. You can see it's starting to get a little frayed, so that's why I'm going to change it out. Now, while most cars have a spring-loaded tensioner, this Honda Insight has a tensioner that is tightened with an adjusting bolt. So if you can see that bolt directly in the center of the screen, that is a 10mm headed bolt that screws in and out, and that adjusts the pulley there, the tensioner pulley, that holds this belt tight against the water pump, the air conditioner down at the bottom, and then the hub drive pulley. You can't get at it from up here. You got to go at it from below. So let's take off the bottom panel and see what kind of access we've got from there. To access the Serpentine belt, you have to get at from the underside. You got to remove this shield held on by 5 10mm headed bolts, or if you're missing one like me, 4 10mm headed bolts. This aluminum front shield's kind of in the way of getting up at the tensioner, so I'm going to remove that one as well. So I've already removed the 10mm headed bolts. Now it's just these push-in plastic retainers. Guess I'm missing one of those too. Now you can better see the belt, the AC pulley, the tensioner pulley, the water pump pulley is above that, and over here is the crank pulley. All right, with the belt tension tester, it looks like the used belt has about 60 pounds of tension at that midpoint. When you reinstall the new belt, you let it run in for a while and then recheck the tension. It should be in the specified range that Honda gives in its workshop manual. Now that I have an idea of that tension, I can loosen that tensioner pulley and remove the belt. The center bolt on the nut on this pulley locks it into place. This threaded rod is a tensioner, and it adjusts the other end of that bolt sticking through the pulley in and out to provide tension on that belt. The head on that adjusting bolt is 8mm. And this bolt, I guess, has got reverse threads on it, so when you go to the left, you are actually tightening the tension of that belt. When you go to the right, you're loosening that tension. Now the belt's getting looser. Going to be ready to remove it shortly. Oh, let me see. How's that look? How's that bearing seam? Doesn't seem like it has any play in it. So I'm going to clean it up, get all that lubricant off of there, and put on the new belt. You gotta take that old belt off. If this bearing is bad, if it's grinding, if it's it's making noise, you can press this bearing out and replace just the bearing section. You don't have to buy a whole new pulley with the bearing in it, which is like $40. The bearing itself you can get for about $4. One thing to check is whether the new belt and the old belt are about the same size. Indeed, they are. One thing that the new belt lacks that the old belt has are tons and tons of cracks. This belt definitely needed replacement. Now it's just a matter of threading the new belt in place of the old around each of these 3 pulleys. I'm going to go up top, make sure that upper pulley is aligned with the belt. There we go. And then get your tensioner pulley. Slide it over the shoulder of the mounting bolt, and then you have this stepped collar that locates the outer edge of the bearing. And then the tensioning, the bolt that cinches it down into place once you've tensioned it, looks like it has some thread locker on it. So let me go add some thread locker. So dab a thread locker. Tighten it down so it's cinched, but can still slide back and forth with that tensioner. All right, now I tighten it down so that it produces tension against that belt. All right, that's about what it had before. Just tighten this a little bit more. All right. Start her up and see how that belt works. And that bolt for the tensioner, that bolt gets torqued to 22 Newton meters. This bracket would be nice if it was out of the way. There it is. There we go. 22 Newton meters. Now, after I run that for a while, I'm going to come back and check it. But that's it. Belt is installed, properly tensioned. Good luck working on your project. I'm not going to show you reinstalling all these shields. That's no fun.